So, hi there. I would like to do a vlog this morning on soul retrieval and soul loss. Soul loss is something that we have as we go through life, and you don't have to have had a big trauma in childhood to experience soul loss. Sometimes it can be just disappointments. You can maybe lose a friend at school, a death in the family, someone gets sick, someone's depressed, parent is drinking, divorce. It doesn't have to be full on abuse. If you have full on abuse, it's probably a bigger chunk of you has gone walkabouts, and also you've shattered. That's a different story. People that have shattered, they're open to a lot of negative spiritual involvement that can involve all manner of control. And of course, the matrix system has all manner of programming put in place for children, such as the Alice in Wonderland books and the Wizard of Oz books, to bring about certain programming to create slaves. So this happens as well. This is all carried on off-world. It's all carried on by the spiritual level, by dark entities, the controller of this earth, and their minions in spirit and out of spirit. So the shattering is a whole different thing that involves slavery that needs to be unbound. That can be done in a shamanic journey to unbind somebody. Somebody has to be taken up to the higher dimensions, and then the shackles removed. Literally, it involves shackles. And also recently, I learned about the Earth Star activation, which also, excuse me, we can go into your subconscious and find out who is controlling you. If you have control, a lot of people have control through various lifetimes, and they can be shackled to those different organizations and occult societies. So they need to be unbound for you to rise. So I'm not going to deal with the whole shattering today. I'm going to deal with an aspect of it. The aspect of it is the soul loss. So what will happen when you're shattered, or even when you're not shattered? A part of you or parts of you will go into the astral realms, and it will just be like dying. When I retrieved one of my parts, a 13-year-old part, I recall being sexually abused by my father on a beach, and I actually got up out of my body and walked off. So when I got my 13-year-old back, I recalled that memory. I didn't have any memory of that. So when you get these parts back, they can bring with them the memories that made them leave in the first place, which can be pretty traumatic. It can, you can often need counseling around that, or deal with it yourself. You can deal with it by playing Hertz music and crying it out, mourning it, what happened. Because after all, you're older now, you're not in that situation anymore. You just have to deal with the sadness. A lot of people are suffering from depression right now, and depression is just a stuck feeling. If you can think of the feeling you have when you're constipated and you need to go to the loo, and you feel that toxins building up, and you really do need to go to the loo but can't, that is what depression is. You need to feel that feeling, but you can't. You can't reach it. It's not loose. Obviously, if you do this shamanic journeying, you can find out what the feeling is about and untie the knot. There's always a knot, and the knot leads you to have certain beliefs about yourself that need to be pulled out. They are also like little roots that make you also manifest things that you don't want to manifest. If you have these beliefs going round and round your mind that have been caused by the trauma, such as I'm worthless, I'm not a good person, that is then shouted out to the universe. You shout it out to the universe, and the universe says, oh, okay, you're not worthy. You don't deserve good things. You don't deserve love or money. And it gives you more of what you're telling the universe, the unified field that has that ability for some reason. Who knows? But whatever you tell it, it mirrors back and gives you more of it. So if you're screaming to universe, I'm worthless, I really don't deserve love, I really don't deserve my own home, then it says, oh, okay, we'll bounce you around a bit. And if you come to a position where you're buying a home, we're going to say, no, remember, you're not worth it. You don't deserve a home. Let's rectify this for you. And it will jerk you away from that, and it will leave you without a home. I know the story. I've lived that out. So these beliefs and this trauma has to be pulled out by its roots. And a way of doing it is via soul retrieval, because what you do, you get back that chunk of you, and I see it like a mirror smashing, and the shards go everywhere. There's actually a brilliant fairy story about shards. Some of them can go off to unscrupulous places where they're used. So all of these have to be recalled. Now, the only way you can recall them is via a shamanic journey. Now, it all sounds very fancy and all very blah, blah, blah. But actually, all it means is going into the lower astral, accessing those areas, sometimes reaching the higher astral planes and finding yourself. Now, when you do it, it's actually quite easy, because when you enter the lower world, this is below the tree of life, or on the roots of the tree of life, then you access these worlds. And there's various different ways of doing that, via portals, using the portals to access the lower world, then going into the realm of the Nagas, as it's known in Hindu text. And there you find different temples, and there's often, you will find the Temple of the Lost Souls. Now, if you access that temple, you can access the Akashic records at the top of the temple, and they will tell you which age you lost that particular soul part. And then you'll have to go into the various aspects of that world and find through the different elements where your soul part has gone to. The different elements being air, water, fire, and earth. They will be buried in one of those elements, and they'll also be having a life inside one of those elements. So it won't be not having a life, it will have had a life, but actually it will be frozen, because it's just like a shard. So then you go into that segment and you make the call and you retrieve it back. Using a shamanic practitioner, you get it called back into your body. Now, getting it back into your body isn't the only, that's not the end, that's actually the beginning of the story. There are actually crystal essences that can help you facilitate this new being coming into you, such as the lovely indigo essences. There's one called Poppy, which is really good for working with the soul part that's come back to you. Now, it could be at any age, whatever age it is. If it's 3 or 4, you need to go out and get yourself some cuddly toys. You need to drink, if you can, take milk, drink warm milk, babyish foods, these kind of things. And you have to really baby yourself, buy yourself baby blankets. And in that way, you re-nurture that part of yourself and you call it back into your body. Now, if it doesn't want to be there, you have a little bit of a problem, you have to make your life accommodate it. Now, if you're having a life that doesn't involve self-nurture, that child part is going to leave again. So you have to start nurturing yourself and nurturing that child. Another way of doing it is getting a picture of yourself at that age putting it in a frame and talking to it and really telling it, look, I'm going to give you a good life. I'm going to nurture you. Thank you for coming home. You're back in my body. I'm going to make sure you're going to have a nice time. Now, you have to do that. It's like reparenting it. And there's a huge benefit to this. At the end of the day, you're going to be more whole. Now, if you are missing bits of yourself, you're only having a half life. So you only have part of your sanity. You don't have the whole picture. You're a bit like a crystal disco ball that has chunks missing out of it. It won't throw out a good light all around you. You'll get some light, but there'll be areas where you've got darkness. Now, these are areas that other people can exploit you because they see, oh, you're blind in one area, you're not. In this jungle of a world we're living in right now, they'll have it like, you're not clued up, you're not streetwise, or you're not very bright, are you? And people will judge you in various different ways, but they will be judging you incorrectly. It will be all about a part that's missing. Some people have teenage parts missing. I always think it's great fun to bring them home, because then you have to like teenage up yourself. You can go, if you're a girl, and get sparkly Boots 17 makeup, Avon perfumes, anything that reminds you of when you were a teenager, and just let that part know you're going to have a good life now. You're going to incorporate it. You're going to make sure that it's going to have fun. Teenagers like to have fun. They like to snog boys if you're a girl. I mean, if you're having a celibate life, you have to ask yourself why. Why is that going on? What's happening there? If you're a boy, where's your partner? Have fun. Most people in this day and age, you don't have fun anymore. I'm in a counselling group. We're doing our level 4, and there's no fun there. They're very, and I often wonder what kind of therapist they're going to make eventually, because you need to have fun. All of us should be having fun. That's what life is actually partly about, to romp, to enjoy, to romp like the mind of God, to enjoy, to feel joy on a daily basis. And most of us aren't having that. And a lot of the reason is because they've lost a soul part, and they've lost that ability to connect with fun. They've lost that child part in them, and they're sort of rolling on. They're calling themselves I'm an adult, but actually they're just an empty vessel, and they're very good at playing the game of life. They've got it off to a T, but inside they feel very unfulfilled, and it's because they're not living an authentic life. They've mastered the adult program that's run here. I do this, I'm responsible, I do this, but actually there's no heart there, and they're actually missing having a life. And then they get older, and they get on their deathbeds and wonder what has gone on. Well, what has gone on? You haven't been whole, but you've been highly functional, but you haven't been whole. And because you haven't been whole, you haven't lived to your full potential, and you haven't known true joy, which on your deathbed surely is one of the things that you think, not, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do the other, but wow, I had so much joy. I've really drunk I've drunk the Kool-Aid here. I've drunk the wine of the earth, and now I'm ready to move on. But if, there's all these regrets, and one of the biggest regrets is living without parts of yourself, because you need to have a whole experience to drink the wine of the earth, to then say, I'm going to move on now. I've had the earth experience. And then you will get off the reincarnation trap, which can be pretty bad, to keep coming back, keep learning lessons. Some people are aware that they come back and that they don't want to be back, but there's always a lesson that you have to learn about being back. We always have to help other people. We always have to not have judgments on other people. I guess, was lucky or maybe unlucky to be in the news media when I was younger, and just seeing it now from the inside, you know, the new media is coming up and they're exposing the old media. You were this, you were that. And they're picking out various people and judging them. I've got to ignore that call. And judging them. And, you know, we're told in the Bible, judge not, lest ye be judged. We can't really judge other people. We can't really judge other people when we don't know what's going on inside of them. We don't know what they've been through. We don't know how many soul parts they've got missing, so they're just a tiny shard of themselves. We don't know that. Because I'm a shaman, I have the clairvoyance, clairaudience, etc., the ability to journey and realm walk. I can see people that are shattered. There was a documentary recently on Mazza Mahmood. Now, Mazza Mahmood, I knew Mazza Mahmood very well. He is completely shattered. He had a child altar that he would operate off of, and that made him a really good individual to be told what to do, to people please others. And now, of course, he's catching the can. Oh, you were a bad person. You were an evil person. You did this. You did that. Nothing about the newspapers that employed him, but made him do these things. And he was really just being a good little boy. He is completely shattered. But now he's been completely judged. Completely judged as, no, you were in your whole soul. You actively chose evil. You actively chose to hurt people. You actively chose that from your full mind, whole soul state. Well, let me tell you this. We are God's children. There isn't one of us who, from a completely full, whole self, would harm another person. Do you understand? Only people that are shattered, only people that have this problem of dark entities coming into them, i.e. serial killers, that I have met, Ian Brady, Kenneth Bianchi, they have jinn making them do that. But we sit from our thrones and we judge them. We'll look at someone like Kenneth Bianchi. Oh, he's really evil. That's such a devil. And then, I'm not a devil. What a wonderful person I am. And you might be a greasy landlord who runs a slum or abuses people, who is never kind outside their own family. I'm a good person. I didn't go around raping girls and burying them. And it really suits the human condition to judge other people. But let me tell you, it's completely wrong, because we're completely blind. And if we're blind, we can't judge others. So going back to people that are shattered, these people are very, very easy to manipulate. Going back to Mazza Mahmood as an example, he was a people pleaser. He was a 10-year-old child. So aspects of himself had left him so much in childhood, and I would say it's probably racist bullying. He was Pakistani growing up in the 70s. He would have been bullied shitless. He would have been terrified. So a lot of his soul parts would have left him. I met him. I knew him very, very well. He was a boy, and that's all he had left. Can you imagine how hard it is? And I've done this myself, to live life as a child and have everybody look and see an adult, but all you are is a child. Because when these parts split off, you don't mature and move forwards. Now, I suffered from that for a long, long time, and I wondered what it was. I looked around and saw other people maturing, and I thought, how come I'm a child and they seem so grown up? They wear the right clothes, they do the right things, they get themselves what you need to progress in the adult world. And here I am, wanting to wear a purple headband and dance around a field. It's because I didn't have all of my soul parts, and it leaves you in a position of not being able to move forward and mature like someone who had all of themselves. Because to move forward, you need to be a ball, a rolling ball. It gathers the moss, the snow, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you're not a ball, you're not going anywhere. You're just going to sit there on its side. And that's what happens to people that don't have all of themselves. Like someone like Mazza Mahmood. And then people could come forward and judge him when he was just a boy, and then you get into working for unscrupulous people. Again, you can call them dark entities, or people that are run by dark entities. News International is run by dark entities. It's massively dark, and they can really make a foot soldier of someone like that. And that person will just run, and they won't know what they're doing. They will be completely lost, caught up in their own dream, and it won't be anywhere near reality. So we really aren't fit to judge them. But the new media comes in and they love to judge. And don't we all love to judge? Because if we look at something and say, oh, that's a bad person, we can feel much, much better. At least I'm not an evil little dirtbag, we can say to ourselves. But actually, if you're not doing good in the world and helping out strangers, then I'm afraid you actually are firmly on the dark side. Going back to soul retrieval. So when you get this soul part back, it's helpful to take something like indigo essences. It's helpful to have a conversation with them. You can also keep a diary and just have that diary specifically when that returned part wants to speak to you. And then eventually it will become part of you and you'll become much more wholer. And in becoming wholer, you can move forward. You learn things such as to not have a huge ego, because it's pretty silly. You see that more clearly, whereas when you are just one sliver or one shard of a mirror, you don't see. You're very, very blinded. But when you get more eyes, you become a full disco ball, rotating and shining out light everywhere. You literally have eyes in those little shards, and you can see around everywhere. You can see other people creeping up on you, intending to use or abuse you. You can see situations you're in. You mature as an individual. It's sad when it happens late in life, like to me. It happened really late, and but I'm grateful it has happened. I'd love it if I could go back to being 20 and have it happen then, because I see, looking at my life, a lot of struggling and and now a lot of being blamed for this. Oh, you went to work for the media. Well, I didn't really have a choice, actually. My life was ruined, and the only way that I could hide out from the world was to go to the people that had abused me and follow my boyfriend, if you can call it that, the one who'd abused me, into that world. But I hated every minute of it, and I would go round to see a priest and say, why am I here? I don't like it. He said, well, you'll eventually move out of it, and I did go and live in Belfast. I worked for the Sunday Times and did some good stuff, did some good reporting. Alas, after I got pregnant, I had to come back to London and become a single mother, and then again became vulnerable to the sun swooping in, and was my only income, to working for somebody I didn't want to work for, because they don't have any idea of real journalism. And but you get judged completely by that. You get other people coming forward who haven't got their whole selves, who want to ruin your life. Hi, Graham. But they judge you too, because to attack you, they have to see you as evil. You never get anyone attacking you that sees you, they've had a pretty awful life, but I'll attack them. No, they have to tell themselves, you're evil. I'm gonna attack you. I'm gonna attack you. I'm gonna make you suffer. You actually haven't suffered yet. Yeah. I know all about pain. I actually will be very relieved to exit this world. It's really hard. It's very hard for some. It is a particularly dark place. It is owned totally by a really dark entity that acted against God. So it's the God that created us. That God hasn't got access now to this earth, where this entity has got it in its hands and is devouring it. And the children of God, who are awake to the fact they are of this God, are suffering more, because they can see that now there is no God here, and it's dark. But those who don't value God or don't need to stand in the light, or who enjoy this world how it is, don't see it. So it's only the children of God that are suffering right now, and this entity likes to see them suffer. They're shining up like little beacons, and they are getting hammered. They are getting more and more hammered, and it's pretty dark. But we have to realize that this is only a little hologram matrix. We're stuck inside, and once we come awake, it is black pilled. But we have to realize that this literally isn't real. And as soon as there's a plane going over, as soon as we come out of this, it will be just like we've come out of a video game, and we will see, it literally is a nasty little video game. You're stuck inside. And the antidote is to read books like, oh God, what's that book? The Unfettered Soul by Michael, forget his name. To disconnect, to walk the Buddhist way, really, which is disconnecting from the world. So good things, bad things happen. You're standing in a place of observing it. This is the best way. And to sit and have daily meditations, and ask for spirit to come in, because there are angels that will come in and help you. You have to ask them though. I know some really brilliant psalms, and if anybody wants to take a pen, if anybody is going through some really, really dark times, I'm not so great myself at the moment. So somebody gave me this when I was made homeless, and I was in a really bad place. I was terrified, and I couldn't move. I couldn't help myself. I was a single mother. I couldn't help myself. I was terrified, and I literally, I was in a Facebook group, a magic group, and somebody gave me this psalm magic, but it's praying the psalms. You don't have to use the word magic. It's been badly aligned, that word magic. Oh, that means your dark side. I'm with Jesus. No, all it means is bringing sparkle to life. Do you understand? Don't go against that word. Why would you? I mean, for God's sake, there's that lovely song, Magic Moments. Is that evil? Is that of the devil? So ignore these people that bang on like that. Magic literally means beauty, magic, sparkle. So this is calling on prayer to bring sparkle, to bring joy. So I'm going to go through it now. If you've got a pen or your Bible, grab that. You can make a Bible garden, which is decorating your Bible, covering it, putting little butterfly stickers in it. This is awesome. It makes it a joyful thing to pick up, rather than, oh God, there's my grey little Bible, oh yawn, yawn, yawn. If it's there looking, I don't know, mine's covered in butterflies, which I love. If it's there looking beautiful, you're going to pick it up. It's going to be joyous. So look up making a Bible garden on YouTube, and a lot of American ladies are busy showing you how to do it. So I've got a lot of angel stickers and shell stickers and felt tip pen and highlighter all over mine. So this is the psalm. Now, if you start off by doing a meditation, imagine a really, really hot sun on a really hot day, when it's just too hot and you look up and you go, oh, it's too hot, I've got to get inside. Imagine that, harness that, and imagine that shining into your heart. Now imagine your heart setting on fire with it, because it's so hot, and just imagine that hot sun is right inside your heart, and just spin that. Then feel it rise up to your throat, and then your third eye, then your crown, then back down to your lower chakras, and just feel it burn. Just that heat. We really need the heat, and a lot of times it's not there in this northern hemisphere. Just let that burn. Right, now this starts off at Psalm 23. Okay, now to create a protective barrier around you and all your family, it is the most protective psalm. It cleanses and protects, it purifies, it removes disease, pain, and allows you to receive divine instructions in dreams. Now, what you do, you read the password first and then the psalm. I think that's, yeah. And the password is O El Jehovah Ya Naptachi Ichiri Bibi Vachi Betai Bibita Jehoiah. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Graham Johnson. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Okay, so you can mention names in there. There's somebody that, you feel wants to see you in an early grave. For their own benefit. Okay, and now going on to the second one, and the second one, I believe, is Psalm 72. Psalm 72. Turn to Psalm 72, children. Psalm 72 is to bring prosperity and success. Ask for what you need and then read Psalm 91. Okay, so I'm just going to quietly ask for what I need. Okay, and then read Psalm 72. Endow the king with your justice, O God, the royal son with your righteousness. He will judge your people in righteousness, your afflicted ones with justice. The mountains will bring prosperity to the people, the hills the fruit of righteousness. He will defend the afflicted among the people and save the children of the needy. He will crush the oppressor. He will endure as long as the sun, as long as the moon, through all generations. He will be like rain falling on a mown field, like showers watering the earth. In his days the righteous will flourish. Prosperity will abound till the moon is no more. He will rule from sea to sea, and from the rivers to the ends of the earth. The desert tribes will bow before him, and his enemies will lick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and of distant shores will bring tribute to him. The kings of Sheba and Seba will present him gifts. All kings will bow down to him, and all nations will serve him. For he will deliver the needy who cry out, the afflicted who have no one to help. He will take pity on the weak and the needy, and save the needy from death. He will rescue them from oppression and violence, for precious is their blood in his sight. Long may he live. May gold from Sheba be given to him. May people ever pray for him and bless him all day long. Let corn abound throughout the land. On the tops of the hills may it sway. Let its fruit flourish like Lebanon. Let it thrive like the grass of the field. May his name endure forever. May it continue as long as the sun. All nations will be blessed through him, and they will call him blessed. Praise be to the Lord God, the God of Israel, who alone does marvelous deeds. Praise be to his glorious name forever. May the whole earth be filled with his glory. Amen and amen. And then the password, in the name of Yahweh, by the power of Israel, I come to you, Sheba. And then moving on. I think we're on number 3 now. And number 3 is Psalm 91. Ask for what you need after password 1, then read Psalm 91. Password 1. By the powers of Sikael Hamaya, in the name of So Elohim, I come to you, So Shaddai. Psalm 91. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you make the Most High your dwelling, even the Lord, who is my... Can't read that. Then no harm will befall you, no disaster will come near you, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread upon the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, said the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Okay, and then read password 2. Elton, spirit of the army of Am Shaddai, in the name of Jehovah, come to my rescue. That always gives me goosebumps when I'm reading it. It's nice if you really feel it and don't just go through the motions. After all, we're talking to a God that, not through his own activities, is not able to be with us. The password to this, it is Psalm 119, starting at 73, which is Yod. The password, in the name of Yahweh I come to you, Elohim, Ayah, Archangel Ninal. There's just one password for that. Your hands made me and formed me, gave me understanding to learn your commands. May those who fear you rejoice when they see me, for I have put my hope in your word. I know, O Lord, that your laws are righteous, and in faithfulness you have afflicted me. May your unfailing love be my comfort, according to your promise to your servant. Let your compassion come to me, that I may live, for your law is my delight. May the arrogant be put to shame for wronging me without cause, but I will meditate on your precepts. May those who fear you turn to me, those who understand your statutes. May your heart be blameless towards your decrees, that I may not be put to shame. And I think that is the last one. I'm pretty sure. I should maybe have said that. That is my last. It's my last psalm. Okay, and if you do that every day, you'll be ticking along nicely. I'm going to end that here and thank you for staying with me to the end. Many blessings to you.